Hey guys, so welcome back to Rich Tech, and in this episode I want to show you guys I want to show you guys this router which I bought. It's D-LINK. Now I did buy a router for around the same price, 300 TT, and that one was not an AC, that was an N, and that did not come with what I wanted. What I wanted in this router, which this router seems to have, and I hope that it will actually work the way it should, is that it actually has to the, and it doesn't even say this on the back, it doesn't even say it there, but it has, where is it? Yeah, on the side it shows you that it actually has here USB port. And that's what I'm interested in, because I wanted a USB port so I can hook up my external hard drive or and be able to share it. Now, whether that will actually work is what I'll have to test, because this router does not say anything about sharing like a network drive or anything like that. All it just says is that you can use the app. There's an app a mobile app that comes with it, and you could share certain things. So I'll just be reading through the boxes. Let's go through some of the unboxing. So stay tuned and let's get going. So hope the lighting is okay. This is the top of the box. It says D-LINK AC 1200 Wi-Fi router. Not too sure what the 1200 means, but I guess it means something important. Right, what else? The other side of the box is the front. Forget the price, because obviously the price was this, but it says 11 AC here, Wi-Fi, faster, farther, etc. Fast performance for streaming HD media. Okay, so maybe it does have a streaming media thing, but I didn't really want it to stream, and I actually wanted to be able to throw files onto it. So hopefully it will be able to also be able to write. The bottom has all these different specs. The specs are pretty much, I probably could see that here so I can actually read it instead of me just showing you guys it. The spec says it has a web-based setup, so it works on some of the browsers. Oh, mosquito. Wow, yeah. Minimum requirements, Windows 8, and wireless adapter card, obviously, to connect. Pretty much, you know, standard things. Limited warranty. It says 1 month warranty. It has a USB sign, 0 configuration. I'm kind of confused about 0 configuration, but we'll get to that, and probably it won't be anything simple. It has Mac ID, etc. I don't really care if you take the Mac ID. Hardware version A1, firmware version 1.00. On the side, which is the most important side, it has here the USB port, a WPS button. I don't use the WPS, and fast Ethernet ports. I don't know exactly why they call it fast Ethernet. I have no exact. What does that actually mean? I have no idea, because I only know 100 megabit, 10 megabit, or gigabit. So I don't know what that is. It has an internet port, obviously, for the internet to come in for your actual internet router. And to the back here, it actually says superior Wi-Fi performance, dual band technology, fast Ethernet. Again, I don't know what fast Ethernet means. I would have just preferred if they had just tell me. It says remote access and management. Manage your network from your phone or tablet. So maybe this thing connects somehow to, you know, a D-LINK server of some sort, and you could just edit from there. We'll see. Easy to set up. Go online in minutes. Quick router, QRS app. Share your stuff. Use our My D-LINK SharePort app to stream and share pictures, videos, and more. Now, I don't really care, as I said, for the app. I want to be able to share this thing on my network, so I'm hoping to God that that will work. Anyways, so let's get to the unboxing. Let's see what's inside. It should be a typical router. For those of you who don't know what a router has in it, this will be an excellent video. For those of you who do actually know what a router has in it, well, guys, might be a point in time where you should probably consider fast forwarding to some more valuable piece of the thing. Okay, right, so I just realized that I opened it from the wrong side. You should either open it from the left or the right. Whoop-de-doo. So I guess, where is the top? I have no idea. This might be the top. So we're going to try to open it from here and see how it is. How I know it's the top, it has this little thing here. Could have just made life easier for me, D-LINK, but oh well. I can't even remember where I cut just now. Okay, so I cut the side here. So I'll try my best to see whether this could be easily opened without damaging the box too much. I will actually be super disappointed if this thing doesn't work, because I don't believe there's returns once you open these boxes. Alright, so I'm trying my best to keep the packaging in order, but obviously that's not going to work out. Once you have these plastic packages don't really work the way they should. So here it is, guys. Okay, so the first thing we see is actually this, which falls out. There's nothing else in the box, right? So I'm getting rid of the box. As you can see here, nothing else in the box. So we're gonna put this on this side, and let's see what's inside this thing. Okay, so right, yeah, okay. Don't know where that dust and so forth came from. All right, so we have here connect to more, my cloud, my D-Link cloud services. And it says enjoy wall-to-wall conversation, blah, blah, blah. Cloud cameras, so keep an eye on what matters. It's something works with cloud cameras, whoop-de-doo. I have no idea why. Okay, maybe it could, or it means it could, it just means you could basically buy the cloud, the D-Link cameras, Wi-Fi cameras, and just hook this thing up and you should be good to go. They actually have something called Liven Up Your Night with Movie Night. Stream your favorite movies and shows from Netflix and Vudu with this thing. Okay, so it's some kind of device that they share in here. They tell you about something called Movie Night, and they share port, mobile companion. It gives everyone access all at once, wirelessly enjoy media from any USB drive right on your smartphone. Okay. That's kind of what it does. I guess what it does is tries to make it easy for people who don't know exactly too much about computers to get themselves in order and make it simple, which makes sense, right? Because that's what Apple does, and that's what all the rest of them do. Try to make things as simple as possible. We'll put that aside, and of course, obviously, same thing, my cloud, very thin manual booklet, but this is probably the one that we'll be interested in. So it says in here that there's the router itself, the power adapter, Ethernet cable, Wi-Fi configuration card, and a quick install guide. Okay, cool. What's kind of interesting is how the shape of this router. As you can see, the shape of this router looks sort of cylindrical. It shows the ports at the back. It has different ports, and we'll probably go through that in a little more detail, but this is pretty much what the router is. It shows how to connect to the router, etc. Sorry, I would have hit the thing. Hopefully the lighting is okay there. And basically just plug this in accordingly. It's nothing interesting here. Okay, so it has a web browser link, and it shows you that you need to go to dlinkrouter.local. That's weird. Okay, and it has the IP address, which is the standard one, 192.168.0.1. For those of you who don't know, that is usually when you plug in a router for the first time, that is usually the IP address that you get for the router. And so you'd use that IP address, you'd put that into your browser, 192.168.0.1, and that should prompt you to log into the router and begin installation of the router. So it just basically shows you that. And then of course it asks you, of course, to set up a password. Make sure to set a decent password. And all the subnet and stuff is pretty much, I'll probably have to have a video on how to configure a router, right? So maybe that would be this one, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, pretty much it just goes through the steps there. The configuration card apparently is also there, and that's it, troubleshooting, and that's pretty much it. There is a GPL license, which means apparently the code is probably GPL. Okay, that's kind of good that they released the code so that people could see. But that's pretty much it, guys. So that's all that's here in the booklet. I'm seeing, first of all, nice adapter. Usual adapter, looks just like my other D-Link adapter. I have actually a D-Link, can't remember the model, but another D-Link that kind of does a pretty good job at this point in time. But yeah, feels fairly sturdy. Wouldn't want to throw this thing down, obviously. Has some grips on the side, but I have seen these types of adapters fall apart. But once plugged in, you should be good to go, because it's not something you're going to keep plugging out very often. Just make sure that when you are plugging these things in, sometimes they tend to break. These two pieces tend to come out. And if they do actually break out, you can actually touch something and get shocked. So be very, very careful with these adapters. Again, remember, it's an economical router, so you won't find the best adapter out there. This adapter actually has 12 volts at 1 amp, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. And this guy here is, of course, the actual router. There's a very short cable. I like these cables, not very much, but they'll work just fine. As you can see, it's a pretty short cable. Probably it's going to be about a foot in length, and it's basically just to help plug in from the internet port that you see here, that yellow one, into your main internet router. Now don't get confused, there's two routers, and I'll probably try to explain that in a bit, but here's the configuration card too, which I don't want to show all the details on this, so I'll just keep this separate for a while. But yeah, and that's all that's in here, just enough to get started. We'll probably just, this table is so small. So let's open this up, and then I'll probably explain a little bit more as we go along how to set this thing up. I'm seeing that it already has the password and so forth already connected underneath. So the good thing is I wouldn't really have to change the password if we have the password already connected on the underneath, right? But yeah. Nice. So there's already, yeah, so they already, I see why now, why they did this. Basically, they have all the information already for login. So that's why it's like a one-click setup. It already has password set up and everything else. So it's pretty much just plug in and you should be good to go. And so that's why they did that this way. Interesting. So yeah, let's get more to explaining what's going on here. So for those of you, as I said, there's the power which we plug in here, and then the power button, a literal physical power button, which is nice, a nice touch. And we see internet, and you notice that the internet is yellow. Now, as I said, this is a D-Link router. It actually has D-Link here, which is kind of really nice. I like the shape. It kind of reminds me of like an Alexa. I don't have an Alexa speaker per se, but I like the design. It's quite futuristic looking. Actually has a power button here, and what seems to be like an internet light to detect whether it has internet connected to it. And of course, the internet light responds to, of course, this internet port. And why is this port so important is this. So we call this a router. This is a Wi-Fi router, right? But this doesn't have internet. What this does is connects multiple devices, will connect to this thing, and then it will hope, whether it connects through these ports or whether it connects wirelessly, we hope that it will pull data from this internet port. So this is why this internet port is so important. Now, this internet port needs to be connected to your ISP's router. In other words, when you pay for internet, they will bring a router into your house, and that will have usually a cable, usually an external port that connects to the internet. So your internet router connects to your Wi-Fi router and basically converts these cables connections into Wi-Fi, and this does the Wi-Fi part. That's how it is. Usually now though, most ISPs come with a built-in Wi-Fi router altogether. Everything is in one. You'll say, well, how could you call this a router and how could you call the other one a router? What's the difference? Well, the difference is what a router basically does is it converts from one type of data, so to speak, to another. That is a simplified version. Don't take, this is not like absolute the technical aspects. But for example, what that means is when, for example, you have an ISP router, not a Wi-Fi router, an ISP router, what happens is the ISP might bring fiber from outside and then convert it into Ethernet, which is kind of like copper, right? Kind of like copper, so to speak. So it converts Wi-Fi, which is light technology, using the router into this Ethernet connection. So basically it converts one type of network into another type of network, so to speak. It's the same network, but I mean the way it connects. And so that's why you have, and this is why this is called a router as well, because what this does is it converts this physical cable into Wi-Fi signals. And that's basically, in a nutshell, what a router does. Now that is a very simplified version, guys. What a router does also is a lot more different things. For example, it manages the actual traffic, how traffic passes through and so forth. Additional features. It manages how one computer would discover another computer, basically how the traffic works and so forth. So this guy is like air traffic controller. So yeah. So now the thing is, as I said, and I'll only know when I plug this thing in, is usually the minimal connection is, of course, to have an internet connection. Now you could use these other connections to these Ethernet connections that are black for additional physical connections to like your desktop computer and so forth that may not have Wi-Fi on it. And of course, we have WPS, which I don't ever use, and USB, and that's what I bought it for. So I might be able to actually connect this thing up now, at least to see if there's any lights, because I'm curious to see whether this has lights. So let me go ahead and do that without showing, you know, all the passwords and so forth. All right, so we have the quite fairly cheap adapter, USB, not even USB adapter, 12-volt adapter, and we take that. I've never seen one of these adapters actually not stop working, so that's probably you know, a good sign. So yeah, cable, wow, it should have been an easy pull, but it's not. All right, so we just get this thing plugged in, and unfortunately I don't have enough cable to get this thing plugged in without. Will it plug in? Yeah, okay, we could get it plugged in. All right, so it's plugged in there, and now we're gonna power it on. Okay, yeah, we have blinking lights. Do we? Yeah, we have a light here. It did light up. So it lights up. Sort of, what's that, orange? Orange or pink? And we see no light here. So I'm suspecting that the only way that would work is if we plug it into a live connection, which I don't have. So might be able to connect that up at some point in time. But yeah, guys, this is pretty much the D-Link. And in a few minutes, maybe I'll get into maybe setting it up a little bit so you guys could see that as well too. So see you guys again soon. Bye. All right, guys. So I'm back here. This is the router, as you can see. And now you can see the two lights. They're green. So that's a good sign. I didn't do any setup except I wired the back. Now, pardon me for all these different wires, but this is the old router, the old Linksys. And you can see I actually put the USB cable there. And I plugged in the internet, and I plugged in all the rest of my cables in the back here. And that's pretty much it. So now I have to go into the setup, which I'll do in a minute or two.